Very good evening. Welcome to Essay Perspectives. Today's topic is life without liberty is like a body without spirit. The key words are life, liberty, and spirit. The entire essay is going to revolve around these three keywords and the interlinkages between these three keywords within the ambit of the meaning of the topic. Either you have to defend the topic or go against the topic, but it's very difficult to go against this topic because mostly we have to argue in favor of life with liberty, the need for liberty, and only in a few areas you can bring the dimension of having certain limitations on liberties, freedoms, and so that can come in the end of the essay. But try to go with the topic. So, what is the meaning of the topic? The topic says that life is meaningless without liberties, without freedoms. So, meaningless, that is nothing but a body without spirit. Spirit is a place where emotions and a character of a person resides, and it is nothing but soul or psyche of a person. So a body without emotions or a character is as good as a dead body, a person, a living dead, so a zombie kind of entity. So that is what we will have to prove in the course of the essay, starting with a very good introduction that makes the meaning of the essay very clear to the reader and gives hint about what kind of arguments to expect from your essay. So the introduction, you can start with either a quote or a particular contemporary event. For example, the recent Supreme Court judgment about, with respect to Prashant Bhushan case, or the larger uh, question of curtailment of liberties in this COVID season, in the course of the COVID pandemic. And we have totally agreed to live without certain liberties. But again, that is to live well in the future, to lead a healthy life in the future. So there are such interesting dimensions to look at also in the course of the essay. So such kind of things you can bring in the introduction. You have to start with making meanings very clear. Liberty, what is the meaning of the liberty, and are you going to use it interchangeably with freedom? And define, liberty is basically is a core moral and political value. It is a value, moral and political value, and also is natural law, in the sense that liberty in itself is intrinsic to everyone. It's an intrinsic value, nobody can snatch it. And of course, if you have read NCERT and all, you know that there is positive liberty and negative liberty, which we will discuss later. So this is not about discussing the key themes of this particular video. It is about giving you key perspectives to think about. So while making this argument that liberty in itself is a value, but spirit is not a value. Liberty is a value, and it is moral and political value. So elaborate this dimension, why it is moral value and why it is political value. So give brief introduction about the significance, but don't elaborate in the very beginning. And then you can give historical significance of the concept of liberty, where I'm not talking about in the sense of political science, where you should bring John Stuart Mill and Kant and all others talking about liberty. So it is the different events where liberty was the victim, and which uh, you know kind of contributed to the darkest periods in the human history, such as slavery, apartheid, racism, caste system, holocaust, the ongoing refugee crisis, all kinds of displacements, all kinds of exploitations. Every such negative incident has been associated with the you know with negative effect on liberties of individuals, of communities, of the whole races, and the whole group of populations, and sometimes the whole nations, the imperialism, colonialism. So keeping all these in mind, you can create two to three paragraphs why the liberty as a value is very centered to the human dignity, human self worth, and the very development of humans. Okay, these things should be brought without too much elaboration to highlight the very value of the word liberty. Then talk about the importance of liberty. Liberty makes us human. So we are not human without liberties, because the very liberty allows us to think, take decisions, reason with, and express our emotions in a very controlled manner. And it gives rise to creativity. So we have created so many wonderful things around the world for us and for eternity. Innovations, we create opportunities. So we create choices, we make choices, we give choices, and allows intellectual growth, economic growth, so that brings prosperity. And as I said, itself is a value, that is importance. And then because it brings dignity, it helps individuals realize their self-worth. So liberty has so much of importance. So here you can elaborate again in the backdrop of all those darkest chapters in the history, how these things were denied and are still being denied to so many people around the world. But remember that while talking about these things, you shouldn't forget the word spirit. So treat entire essay, in its entirety, the topic. So life without liberty is a body without a spirit. So you will have to show that while the liberty was snatched, was curtailed, limited, how it affected the very human spirit, right? So it literally made nations starve. We know all the famines, we know all the extermination, genocides, we know large scale displacements. They all created individuals without souls. Of course, at individual level they had their character, their emotions, but collectively, these events made humans basically dehumanized everyone. The dehumanization process took place. So in that context, relate spirit and liberty whenever you want to make these arguments. So then there are so many liberties. You can bring this dimension: social liberty, economic, political, spiritual, sexual liberties. Very important argument that you should bring in your essay. Religious liberties, very important. Intellectual liberties. Again, a brief, overview of different liberties. So this is important because you will get so many examples to show how without these kind of liberties in the past or in the present or even in the future, so what kind of uh, people we will give rise to, what kind of generations we will give rise to, so what kind of conflicts we will give rise to. So all the enduring conflicts around the world are in some ways related to uh, uh, you know uh, curtailment of liberties of certain people, or it can be positive or negative. It may be relativistic. So for somebody, for a particular religion, if you curtail certain rights, so that becomes harmful to them. They start fighting for it because other religion doesn't believe in these values, so there is communalism. So hope you are getting this particular point. So because we cannot mention the religions and all. Then talk about dangers to liberty. It is individual ignorance. It can be despotism, totalitarianism, authoritarianism, and dictatorships. The kind of political regimes we have, indifference to things happening around us, cynicism, fear, lack of courage, and all those things give rise to institutions or people who will act as roadblocks to liberty, snatch your liberty, or act as dangers to your liberty. Then you should briefly talk about positive liberty versus negative liberty. Negative liberty is liberty where you want freedom from certain entities. That, for example, if you want to just wear a red shirt throughout your life, so nobody can question about that particular liberty. So you are free to do so. So there is a boundary within your individual choice of color of a shirt, right? The state cannot question it. So it can extend to schools, it can extend to colleges, and it can extend to universities where they want particular code of conduct, code of clothes, uniform. And positive liberty is about it's about the role of society, the role of state, and its relationship between individual and the society, where you have a platform to develop your personality, improve your chances, abilities, make different choices, grow basically uh, through these liberties. So in a way, uh, ideally the state should create an enabling environment for you to grow. So that is the idea of positive liberty. So it is the freedoms given by the state here. Okay, so that is positive liberty. So here when you are discussing these things, again it should be the word spirit should somewhere figure in these arguments. How in the end they will allow humans to prosper in such a way that they end up as a happy individuals. The move towards the more of spirituality. So that is giving to importance about their spirit, their individuality, and something originality, more of creativity, everything which is related to the spirit. You can bring new dimension that you cannot look at only human or dehumanization when you are talking about a life, liberty, and spirit of the individual. You can also talk about of the institution and of the nation. The quote is very much relevant to the nation also. Life without liberty, and so is body without soul, equally applies to a nation as well, or to the institution. Now you take for instance Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, without liberty, or if it doesn't give liberty to others, either it is snatching one spirit, affecting one spirit, or it itself is devoid of it's the very soul, the very spirit. So it can be talked about the constitution. If the constitution has is very restrictive, so, suppressive, and it snatches more rights than gives what it gives back. So then you can talk about in a similar angle. So goes with the countries. The country where it doesn't give its citizens rights, or it doesn't enjoy its own rights. A country which is colonized, or a country which colonizes. So both argument and counter argument, like not counter argument, the contrasting two ideas, so about which in the previous essay I had talked about. So those dimensions you can bring, and uh, actually write, you can write so much, because as you have read in world history, so you will get really very good examples. Then you can talk about Gandhian idea of Swaraj, which is related to self rule, that is, rule over the self and rule of the self. This I have taken from NCRT. And here you have to talk about rule over the self, in the sense that an individual might have different bodily needs, or the mind may be craving for something else. How you will overcome those desires, the so-called sins, and how you will rule the self, allow self to rule with respect to the state, with respect to the external forces. So those dimension you can bring here. You can start moving towards the angle of spirit more, the fight of mind over body or body over mind. So liberty helps spirit develop. So that is what all that creativity, spirituality, innovation, and opportunities, choices. So all those come into picture. So that is because when you are a free individual without any constraints, and you have an enabling environment to develop yourself, so your spirit develops. So you become more emotionally stable, your character really strengthens, and you become a person of values, a moral individual who will go on to create a moral environment. So wherever you go, so that is the very essence of liberty. So after second, like from second half, you are now establishing the relationship between liberty and the spirit here. So then liberty of the body and spirit of the body. So the body has its own needs. The body craves for so many. It might be having carnal desires. It may be having with respect to food, with respect to aesthetics. It might have different needs. So it has its own needs of liberty. And then you have something called spirit of the body, something which is above the worldly needs, something related to spiritual, realizing, understanding one's own spirit, one's own soul, one's own character, one's own emotions, having control over them, right? So there is always a conflict between these two. And you may be knowing that somebody wants a like Mahatma Gandhi himself faced this kind of conflict when his father was dying and he was having sex. So that is what I am trying to talk about. Every individual goes with those kind of dilemmas, and here it is. You are moving towards slowly becoming more philosophical in the essay, but with the existing examples you can simplify your concepts. And here and there you can also broad bring dimensions related to vulnerable sections. About there are people who who are dying of hunger, who are dying because there is no profit in what they do. They are you know uh, they are victims of so many crimes and exploitations because they are helpless. And is it because of liberty, lack of liberties, or is it because of lack of spirit, right? So you can argue in that dimension also. And then there is while we are moving towards conclusion, something called liberty of the spirit. So how much liberty you would like to give to your own spirit? So if you want to develop your spirit, realize your spirit, so you will have to give liberty. So do you want the state to give you liberty? Do you want yourself to give that liberty, and to what extent? So what is that utopian or ideal state that you would like to achieve by giving liberty to the spirit? So it can be spiritual salvation and enlightenment for some individuals, or it can be achieving too much of riches to become the richest man on the planet. Or for somebody it can be going after power, accumulation of so much power, maybe in order to help other human beings. So something like that. So in this dimension also you can think and talk about. basically the idea is that in the essay shouldn't create compartments, and for a reader it should look like one organic whole, like a story evolving towards particular idea which is very deep and which is very thoughtful. So in the conclusion, that thoughtful idea, something very in other essays it is futuristic, in some essays it is very broad, allows the reader to ponder over what we have just concluded. And of course, liberty cannot be absolute, and there should be reasonable limitations. And but again, not on the spirit. Spirit is more individualistic, and we talk about human spirit, which is individualistic, sometimes collective also. It is our human spirit at the end of the day to make right decisions to make planet a very habitable place to everyone and for our future generations as well. So keep writing essays. As you know, prelims is definitely going to be conducted on October 4th. There is absolutely no doubt about it. And mains will be in the month of January. The UPSC has already given dates, and it has already given dates for 2021 exams also. June 27th, there is preliminary examination. In a way, it's very good that we have got clarity. And those of you preparing for 2021, continue to write essay every Sunday. And those who are preparing for 2020, so you may stop writing essays from next week, fully focus on prelims alone. And mains 2020 is 8th, 9th, 10th, 16th, 17th of January 2021. So this is again another confirmation that prelims is going to happen. So CSC 2020 will go on. You might get the result somewhere in the first week of June, and they will expedite every process. So we are moving towards normalcy. So the government will restore your liberties slowly, and you focus on your spirit, your individual spirit, the dream you are dreaming about, the target you have, the goal you have. Work towards it, and you will achieve it. Inside Science is there to support you in any way we can, and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.